very, very difficult game. I think the worst that we expected very nearly happened. They went 3-0 up very early.
Yep.
We couldn't defend any set pieces. We embarrassed ourselves when it came to trying to defend set pieces. But then somehow, thanks to David Raya, really, who had an absolute madness after about 64 minutes, tried to chip a left-footed ball out into the kind of midfield and chipped it straight at Christian Romero, who decided to just play up front. And we got a goal back, and then the match changed. And Spurs had the ascendancy, and we got another one back from Sonny, a penalty on 85 minutes. And then we pushed and we pushed, but we couldn't get it over the line. Similar to the Brighton game, I guess you'd say, earlier in the season. But realistically, you can't get away from the fact that it was naive and poor defensively from Tottenham to allow Arsenal to be in that position. If you look at the game as a whole, if you're a neutral, you look at the game, you say Tottenham actually played really well in that game and in the first half, even when they were 3-0 down.
Yep.
But Marlon, how are you feeling about it?
Look, the 3-2 has flattened us a little bit. Flattened us, I mean. It could have been worse. If Arsenal didn't step off the gas in that second half, I think it would have been 4-5. I'm a bit surprised and go for the kill. But then there's a massive mistake from Raya, and it brings us back into it. But you just saw at the end there where it's poor crosses, it's poor decision making. And if we're doing that when we're on the ball, then you can see where we're going wrong with set pieces and stuff like that. Everything is just poor. Like, he wants to change the mentality here, but they've got to be better at what they're doing. Like, I'm not blaming them for the first half, the players, because he's been brave enough to put Højbjerg in there, which again I probably wouldn't have done, but he's done it. But it's 2 set pieces and a goal we concede every week. So the goals, all 3 goals that we conceded are goals we concede. Doesn't matter. It actually doesn't even matter when we played Forest. We concede the exact same amount of goal, even when we're winning. We haven't kept a clean sheet. We've kept, I think it's 1 clean sheet since November. Our record is worse than Sheffield United. Actually, looking at a bigger picture of this, if we don't sort out ourselves defensively, nothing's going to change. It's going to be exactly the same. The fact we're 5th is because of the amount of goals we've actually scored.
The only positive I can say about set pieces and defensively is that we didn't concede from a corner in the second half. And that has to be because he put Sarr on the player, Ben White, who was trying to block the keeper. And even then, when Ben White went away to then come in from deep and make a late run to try and block the keeper, because Sarr's body was there was an extra body in that firing line. But still, I said it during the watch along, I'll say it now, it has to be talked about. Vicario has to be the boss, and he has to find a way to not have goals scored against him from within his own 6-yard box. I'm sorry, but that is a simple fact of goalkeeping at any level. Yeah,
but then you've just said it there. Once Sarr was in there, we didn't concede. So my question to you is, how much is that on Vicario? Because if tactically they're being told,
I think it's on Vicario to say to the coaches, I need that to be there every time. So earlier in the season, after Man City scored in that way, we had a player on that player for a game or so, and then it went away again. So
I get that, but if Vicario comes out to Ange and says, I need somebody on there, and Ange goes, no, he might have said it already.
Yeah. I think Vicario is a brilliant goalkeeper. I do. But I think this is a problem, and we're conceding so many goals. Let's go through
just to go back to that. I do agree with you on the Vicario thing, but the problem that I have with the whole situation is, if there was a man, say Sarr's on there, and then the mistakes happen, right? The stuff that he needs to be stronger at, that is on Vicario, right? And again, there's parts in that second, yes, we didn't concede from a corner, but there's parts in that second half where Gary Neville said it in commentary, right? Peter Schmeichel is taking them out. I think the old goalkeeping union are taking them out, even right, and that's the big key difference. But for me today, I can't sit. For me, I get the whole thing about Vicario, but I can't blame him because that is how Andrew's played with him all season. And Vicario might have gone many, many times, I can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. Surely he can't do this. It took until 2.5 games for him to go and help him out, and we didn't concede in the second half.
It did happen a bit after that City game. But anyway, we'll go through the game a bit. So the first goal was 14 minutes, an own goal from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg from an in-swinging corner where Højbjerg got caught wrong side of his man when the man had made a run. And as the ball kind of swings in, He wins the header first, but it just slides off his head into the near post. Then on 22 minutes, Spurs had a goal disallowed, an equaliser from Mickey van der Ven, where we'd had a shot from outside the box. Was it Porro, I think, with the shot?
Porro with the shot, yeah.
And it ricocheted a couple of times off Arsenal players, and Van der Ven was in and finished with absolute, honest, like it was a fucking beautiful finish, like fire, like he slammed it into the back of the net. And they brought it back for VAR, and it is, honestly, like the idea that offside used to be the rule, you're level, if you're level, you're on. Like, why have they changed that rule? Anyway, they found a tiny margin that he was offside. Then on 26 minutes, Spurs were running through. Deki Kulusevski had played a nice little 1-2 into the box. He gets his heels clipped. And if anything, the only mistake Kulusevski made is that he didn't go straight down. He tried to stay on his feet. And as a result, Michael Oliver didn't give the penalty. And then Arsenal break up the other end. Ben Davies is left one-on-one with Bukayo Saka, takes it inside him, rolls it into the far corner. When they roll it back for VAR, and all the replays show that Kulusevski was clipped, should have been a penalty. 37 minutes, Havertz gets the nod from 4 yards out from the in-swinging corner, as we've discussed. And then it was the goals in the second half, 64 minutes, Romero, and 85 minutes, Son. So that's what happened in the game. But overall, Marlon, in terms of how you'll be feeling this week and how you think Spurs fans will be feeling this week, will they be energised from the fact that we showed some fight at the end? Or will they be, you know, despondent at the fact that, you know, like you said, we've been conceding the same goals, and is consistent, as he said he always would be, that we're going to play the same way, we're going to change the mentality, we're going to learn, and our fans, I don't know, what do you think, if you're going to try and put a percentage on it, overall Spurs fan base?
Yep.
What percentage of fans are like, stick to the project, and what percentage of fans are like, I can't watch things that are the mistakes that are happening time and time again?
So today, I think 60 to 70% won't want to stick to the project just because of this result.
Right.
And I think what you've just said there, reflection over the next few days, the Chelsea game will come, and then people will start going, okay, the Arsenal game's gone. Hopefully Manchester City haven't messed things up by then. But as long as, this result will start being out of everyone's mind, right? But it's a case of, I think by the time we play Liverpool, I think people will start going, actually, there's a project. The likelihood is that we will finish 5th at the moment. No, look, I don't think the teams behind us are going to catch us, and I don't think we're going to catch Villa. So I think right now is like we are where we are at. So I think a lot of people will be behind the project, but it's only going to last up until the last day of the transfer window. And that's going to be what the most important part is, because we look at it and go, we know what we need, right? The fan base know what we need. Hopefully, everyone inside that club right now knows what we need. We've seen what Arsenal did in 5 years, right? And unfortunately, that's what we have to look at, because we can't look at Manchester City. We can possibly look at Liverpool, but Liverpool are about to start again as well, right? Villa, again, what will Villa do next season? We don't know. So, unfortunately, we look at Arteta. Arteta's been backed, right? Completely back to the hill.
For 10 transfer windows.
Right? Spurs, right? And he's been back since day one, right? Where I know we got Dragusin, but we haven't got Timo Werner, who hasn't helped the cause. No matter what this is what we have to be totally honest, right? Timo Werner came in to get us 4th. We haven't got 4th.
I thought Timo Werner came in to cover for Sonny, really.
Yeah, but then he hasn't performed as he should. For me, because we've lost more games, we haven't been in games, and it's been like you have to take the Fulham game. The games we've lost are massive, absolutely massive.
Is there not, sorry to play devil's advocate, but is there not an argument to say that if Richarlison hadn't got injured, then Son would have gone back out to the left, Richarlison would have carried on his goal scoring form of course, 9 anyway? Of
course, but if you sign someone like Timo Werner, he's missed so many good chances for us, right, that it's going to come back and bite us in the bum, right, which it has done, right? But nothing against Timo, right, because actually he's come in certain games and played really well, right? But the problem that I have with the signing is that signing wasn't, they're the signers that wasn't brought in for Arsenal when they were going through this project. It's a difference, right? And that's
I'd be surprised if we see Werner again this season, because he went off injured, but I understand your point.
Do you get what I mean? It's nothing against Werner, it's more against...
I do.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask one question.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility Ange will come out after this game and say, well, actually what this proves is, or this is my feeling, is you can't play 11 behind the ball and sit in a narrow low block for a whole game and not give away chances. And therefore, my attacking formation, if we'd scored the 3 chances we had in the first half with the 2 goals we scored in the second half, you know, it's a totally different game. And actually, is there an argument to say that? I guess are we slightly, when we're feeling negative about it, are we slightly blurred in our heads because the goals that we're conceding are you know, it is, I say the word embarrassing a lot. The fact that we cannot defend a corner is embarrassing. And is that blurring the fact that actually, if you look at it in terms of the data, the stats, you know, we had more shots, we had more chances, we had more possession, and we just weren't clinical enough. And that's part of the process because they're young and they're growing.
Well, as we said, right, the only goal today that's conceded because of a handball is Saka's
second, yeah.
Saka's second, right?
Second,
yeah. But the problem is that, let's be honest, I think everyone can see that it was a penalty. It should have been a penalty. It was a foul. He's tripped him. Anywhere else on the pitch, they give it, right? So unfortunately, it's not given. But that's on handball, right? But you're absolutely right.
Saka's first, wasn't it? Why am I saying
Saka's first.
Sorry,
yeah, the second goal, right? But the issue you've got then is what's killing us at the moment is the big set pieces, right? Because you're right, we had 3 chances for Romero in that first half. Son misses a chance. So actually, we created, considering this Arsenal's teams and the defence that they've got, how many chances did we actually have and didn't put them away?
More than Man City did against them, that's for sure.
That's for sure, and we weren't clinical. And they weren't like hard chances. We've hit the post, one's gone wide, you've hit over the bar, right? There's chances in the second half. Look, the first 20 minutes of the second half, I'd given up. So I can't even delve into that, right? But at the end of the day, is we haven't taken our chances. You're right, on reflection, actually, he is right, but if he doesn't sort out the set piece part, then what you're trying to do for 88 minutes is wrong. I
want to ask you something that I asked in the watch along, but it's worth asking this as well. You know, we have talked a lot about what we need in terms of transfers, but do we have to add physicality into that as well? So, you know, we've got Lucas Bergvall through the door. By all intents and purposes, he looks like an incredibly talented player.
Tiny.
A ball player. He's absolutely tiny.
Yeah. No.
Are we going to continue to get absolutely bullied physically? So if we don't then buy, you know, so we're talking about needing a 6. You know, do we need a 6 who's like actually a monster as well, like physically?
We're gonna, because the only player we signed who's physical in the air, and I think I've said earlier, is Dragushin.
Yeah.
So Udogie and Porro look like they're gonna start. Van der Ven is Van der Ven. And Romero, to be fair, Romero was the best player on the pitch for Spurs today.
I'm actually going to say this. It's relevant to what you just said, because I've seen it a lot in some of the comments of my videos. People saying, "Can we play Dragushin with Van der Ven and Romero as the 6?" Now, I'm not saying I've got no evidence to suggest that Romero is brilliant on the half turn, but would I actually prefer him in there than Højbjerg? Because if he gets enough space on it, he kind of plays when he gets it with the pitch in front of him like a 6, because he slows it down a little bit and he plays those balls between the lines.
Yeah, because it was some of those passes where you were going, oh my God, great pass. They're all coming from Romero.
Yeah.
Right? And look how far forward, and then he can join the attack like he has done today. It may be a shout, right? We've got...
I don't think it'll happen, but...
He could do it at the bridge. And the reason why I'm saying it, he can do anything he wants on Thursday because it's a ground that we have only won at once in the Premier League and once since 91?
91 or 93 maybe.
Yeah.
Well, right. I was going to ask about Chelsea. So my feelings on the Chelsea game is they will absolutely turn up and beat us.
Yeah.
It will be their big you know, statement win game. I mean, I guess they beat us at our place, but it was 9 men. That's what I think. Is there anything in your mind that thinks that could be different? So what I would say is, I guess is worth asking. Have Chelsea got it in them? Has Pochettino got it in him to do what Arsenal and Newcastle did and say, actually, the way to beat Spurs is to sit back? Pochettino, when he was manager of Spurs, I used to sometimes get frustrated because he wouldn't evolve to beat the better teams by shutting up shop a bit.
So he used to. So this is quite weird because I remember there was one year he did it at the Emirates and he went and played Dyer, Wimmer, and I think it was Vertonghen as a back 3, and he never done it before, and he actually went quite defensive, and I think he'd done it 2 years in a row because I think Chadley got the equaliser the year before. So he used to go to the Emirates and do it, right? And and then when we started to evolve and get better, he started to attack a little bit more. But you were absolutely right, he didn't do it like against the Uniteds and stuff like that. He just do it when he went to the Emirates.
City, I remember that,
right. So he was able to do it, but for Pochettino on Thursday, it's one of those as well where he can try anything, because for Chelsea, as long as he comes out of a result, they won't care, right? Again,
I
so
just can see I can see Thiago Silva having an absolutely brilliant game.
yeah, of course.
And they'll score from set pieces and whatever. I'm not going to ask you for a prediction. We've gone on too long already.
Yep.
But honestly, thanks Marlon for doing the
Thank you.
post-match reaction with me, guys. Don't forget, if you're not already, press the like button, and if you're not already subscribed to We Are Tottenham TV, make sure you are. And I'm sorry it was a loss today. There was a bit of fight at the end, but this project has a long way to go. Try and enjoy your week. I know it's going to be difficult. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.